Hi, it's Charles with CRC Plumbing, and we're here to show you the installation of this Soiree Toto toilet, which is a skirted toilet. And basically it means it's a sealed trapway going through the toilet. You don't see the turns at all, modernizing it, making it easier to clean, smooth, and just a nicer look. And in this kit comes this little fitting here. It's called the outlet connection fitting. This outlet connection fitting comes in different rough ends. It comes in a 10-inch rough, 12-inch rough, and a 14-inch rough, depending on the space from the wall to the center of the flange. In the kit, it comes with the standard 12 because most toilets are 12-inch rough end. So, what we're going to do, first of all, we're going to pull off the sewer plug. This just keeps the gases from coming through. There we go. And I would always suggest putting those in to keep the smell from out of the place that you're working in. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take this outlet connection fitting, which it is a PVC fitting, and we're going to put this on here, right on exactly where it goes, center of flange. And now we need to mark the 4 holes that come on the corner of these. So as you see, there's 4 holes here. 1, 2, 3, 4. We need to transfer these holes onto the tile floor so we can drill that and put the inserts into the floor that's going to hold this fitting on. One side's going to tighten with just some 3/8 nuts, and the other side's going to have lags into the floor. So let's do that now. So now I've marked my lines on the floor, and what this is going to do is it's going to keep my toilets nice and square. Give me something to square off of. I'm taking the Unifit connection fitting, and now I'm going to put this on the ground here on my lines, making sure that all 4 corners hit the line, so it's going to be square. Next, what I'm going to do, I'm taking my drill with a masonry bit smaller than I'm actually going to use, and this is going to mark my holes. So there's 1, and I'm just marking them for now. And I'm going to drill onto this. I'm going to drill and I'm going to mark the 4 holes. There's 2, 3, and our last one, 4. All I've done now is put the marks on the floor because I don't want to drill through this plastic. The bit's a little bigger and I don't want to open that up. So next we're going to put the correct size bit on. We're going to finish drilling our holes. Whenever you're doing this work, make sure you have the proper safety gear, which is going to be obviously glasses, and we're going to put a mask on for this. Even though it's not a whole bunch of mess, let's try to keep ourselves safe. So, here we go. Make sure you keep your drill straight so the hole is straight. Okay, now we're going to take our concrete anchor inserts and we're just going to stick them in the holes that we've now drilled. Putting these anchors in, and that's it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this outlet connection fitting and we're going to stick a wax ring on it, and we're going to install it. Just a standard wax ring. This one's actually called an anti-leak because it has a plastic sleeve. It actually goes on the outlet connection fitting. So what we're going to do is we're going to stick it on the bottom of this thing. I like to kind of push it on so it stays on, give it a little, and then we'll put this on the floor here. We already have our bolt holes. We're going to push this guy down. And then we're going to take the washers, the 2 washers provided in the kit. Stick that one there, that one there. A couple of nuts. Now because you're tightening onto this piece of plastic, I would suggest don't over tighten, as you will crack it, and that's not going to be any good for anything. So at this point we're going to take the 4 screws that are in the kit and we're going to just stick them through this outlet connection fitting. I like to hand start it. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're just going to snug it up. This is going to lock the outlet connection fitting to the floor. We're going to get this nice and snug, and then It's going to sit inside that hole, which is going to lock it in, keeping it from going left and right. And then we will silicone it to the floor as well. If you're doing this, sometimes it's good to run a screwdriver here if you don't know the torque that you want to put on it. Because if you torque too much, it's just going to pull it right out. Personally, myself, I do these often, so I feel confident doing this way. If you're not sure, use a screwdriver, please. It'll keep it from pulling out. Locked down nicely. I want to come back and snug up the front bolts a little bit too. At this point, I feel pretty confident that this fitting is in there nicely and it's going nowhere. So that outlet connector is now bolted to the floor onto the toilet flange. So now we're ready to go. What we're going to do is we're going to set these bolts here. The actual bolts that's going to bolt this through the porcelain toilet and lag it to the floor. So now we're just going to slide these in. Taking a second, just slide these right through this little hole, and it's going to stop at the back there. And we'll go ahead and put some backup washers on there, and we'll spin the nuts on. And the other half of the toilet that is going to be connected onto this outlet fitting is going to be this rubber gasket. When you put the toilet down, make sure that you lift this thing up a little bit and set it directly into that gasket, as that's going to be the seal, the water seal. We want a clean seal. We don't want any movement or anything, straight through. When you go to install this toilet, be very careful. It's a very heavy toilet, bad on your back. You might want to get 2 men to lift this, whatever is safe, because I don't want to have anybody getting hurt out there. Do this with safety. So here we go. And again, the most important thing is straight down onto that plastic fitting. So definitely make sure that you're square against the wall when you install these. I like to measure from the 2 corners, keep them the same, so we look good. And there you go. Alright, now that we have the toilet in place, we're just going to go ahead and lag it to the floor. We have the washer here. We're just going to stick this buddy right there. And we'll take our nut and tighten her right down like so. And you don't want to go too tight, because again, this is porcelain. You crack the porcelain, the toilet's no good. That's that side. This side's going to be a little hard to get to, but and again, with a toilet this heavy and large, not sure that it's going to be a major deal to crank it too tight, because it's a pretty heavy toilet. And snug up one more on this side. I like to go back and forth a little, as this is a gasket. Even pressure has always been the answer. Alright, she feels nice and snug now. Okay, our toilet's now bolted to the floor, and all we're going to do is we're going to put on these little covers that are going to cover the bolts to make it pretty. So here we go. And this is just a little Velcro. If you look at it, it's just a little Velcro, and you just basically stick it onto the Velcro. Try to center it nicely, and that's it. Not too hard to do. Pretty straightforward. Presents a nice look at the end. So now we're going to take the supply line and hook up the water to the toilet. So this comes with the nut here. We don't need this nut, as this supply line already has the nut. We'll get rid of that nut and ferrule. So we're going to go and tighten that on. Kind of hand tight. This is a steel braided hose, so it's rather rigid, making it kind of hard to flex, but once you get it there, it's nice makeup. I like them nice and short, where it's not leaving a bunch of flex. Come to the top nut. This one here, they say hand tight only, so for the purpose of tying this in, it's a hand tight only, because that's a plastic connection that you're tying it onto. Now, go ahead and turn her on and see what we get. Check for leaks, etc. Open the angle stop here, usually to the left side of the toilet. So this has a 3-inch flapper in it, which is the newer technology, making it flush powerful, using less water. It's a 1.28 gallon flush due to water conservation in California. They also make 1 gallon flushes now in Totos, so you have a lot of options out there. Toto has came up with a great, very nice way to clean the inside of this toilet every time you flush it. That's called the double cycloning flushing system. What this is 2 big holes in the side of it that are going to make a whirlpool effect in the toilet when you flush it. Check this out. It's quite a bit of power there. And this is going to keep all the debris clean in the toilet, so you have to clean it less. Okay, so now we're just going to go ahead and put this lid on. It's got a little Velcro strip here. It's got a couple of Velcro strips in the back. All you do is make sure the Velcro is held onto itself, because this lid, like others, does not sit around the outside of the toilet, meaning it would knock off easier if you did not lock this down. So here we go. And there she is. There we go.